guys, autofanatic. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick little overview on the new signature SV306S wheels for the GT350. And I'm just going to show you some of the details, go over the finishes, and I'm also going to show you guys the new titanium specific lug nuts that Signature Wheels is making for these wheels and why they're making them. So let's just get the camera set up on the tripod. I'll show you guys right now. Alright guys, got the camera set up on a tripod. These are the new 20-inch Signature SV306S multi-piece wheels that I got for the new GT350. This wheel actually came out shortly after the SV701s that I got on the car, and I specifically always really liked the 5-spoke design. I have a Pro Touring Mustang, and I have a set of 5-spoke multi-piece forge lines that are somewhat similar to this in style, and I just think it complements the Mustang body lines the best. And it was just one of those things that I just really wanted with the GT350, and I didn't really find exactly what I was looking for because I wanted a multi-piece, I wanted exposed hardware, and I wanted a high-polished outer step lip with a staggered lip front and rear. The finish on these is called triple brushed black tinted. I'm going to get the camera up close and I'm going to show you a little bit of details on these, but these things are phenomenal. They just showed up a few days ago. And the fit and finish is superb, and that's why I went with Signature Wheels again, is because I was so impressed with the SV701s months ago that I said, let me just give them a shot, let me see how their multi-piece wheels turn out, and these things just blew my expectations. I'm also going to show you guys a close-up in the features of the new Signature GT350R and GT350 titanium lug nuts. So let's get the camera in my hand and I'll show you guys a little bit more detail. Alright guys, so let me just show you guys a little bit about these wheels. This is a 2-piece forged construction wheel. So the center is a forged billet blank that's CNC machined into this design, and then the outer rim is a spun forged aluminum barrel. So we have aircraft grade 12-point hardware all the way around. You also have the option on some of these type of wheels that you could have this hidden where they bolted in from the back and they're helicoiled into the center. I personally wanted to have it exposed. I wanted the stainless for the contrast between here and the titanium lug nuts. I think it's going to look really, really sharp. Now, another thing that I was concerned about, and I've been selling forged wheels since the early 90s, the edges, when you have something that's very big and chunky like this, you can see the spoke design. A lot of times, with a lot of high-end manufacturers, a lot of manufacturers, you'll get some sharp edges all the way throughout. But whoever's doing the finishing and QC at Signature, it's just perfect. There are no sharp edges, it's perfectly smooth. It almost feels as if they took the center, they machined it, and then threw it into a tumbler to polish off all the rough edges, and then they went back in there, then they brushed it, then they prepped it, and they did the tinted and the brushed clear coat, because that's how smooth it is. There's no sharp edges anywhere in the face of this wheel, and that's just very common when you're milling very thick blanks of aluminum. You're going to get the edges have a little bit of a sharp bite, and these things are just phenomenal. Also, another thing I noticed too, so in this type of design here, as the end mill runs all the way down and through, and it kind of chews out all this area, a lot of times you'll see the tool path going zigzagging out, and a lot of times the rim finishing companies, you know, when in the finishing department, they'll try to grind that down and they'll try to make it uniform, and sometimes they actually miss, especially the corners and the radiuses. These are absolutely flawless. So whoever went in there did a flawless job as far as cleaning up the end mill tool path on the face of the spokes. So let me just flip the wheel around. Now another thing too, on this particular wheel, this is a spun barrel and it has a clear coat on it. So that's going to give you corrosion protection, it's going to give you protection from oxidation, any kind of moisture that gets into the wheel, it's not going to cause the beads to corrode. So that's very, very important. That's something that I wanted as well. So here's the back side of the wheel. You guys can see it's finished perfectly through all the way around. You actually have some lightning pockets that are milled into the back spacing pad. This is a rear wheel, and the front wheel has a much thicker backing pad. Another thing I'm going to show you too, let me just get the camera closer. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys here just some QC. So as the hardware is assembled all the way through the wheel, it's torqued to spec, and then there's a paint dab on each one. This is what you want to see. So this is where they started. This is the one without the paint dab. So that's how you know when you're going all through the circumference of the wheel, you don't forget to torque and mark your hardware all the way through. So that's just a nice quality control thing that I like to see on something like this. because these are precisely machined. And also, you can see in here, that is the Signature's billet center cap, and it has a little bit of a weep hole for some drainage for some water. And these things are phenomenal. So you see here, these are 20 by 11s. It's got the offset engraved with a serial number. So this is the production number and the serial number for my order. Moving on to the front, I mean, you can see there, they have a nice, definitely a nice concave. I cannot wait to get these on the car, actually, as soon as the tires show up. And something about this style, which I really like, even though these are 20s, they look even bigger because the spokes extend all the way to the edge. You can see that there. They go all the way to the edge. That's just a design to give it a little bit more visual drama, and it's just recessed in there perfectly. So mounting these, you're gonna have to be very, very careful. But my guys are gonna be able to do that without a problem. I just wanna get some close-ups. You can see that right there. So that's the rear wheel. This is the front wheel. You can see it's got a larger mounting pad for the offset. This has a little less of a concave, if you see that there. It's actually pretty hard to see. I think they actually might be similar. I'd have to ask Terrence over at Signature what the situation is with the concave on that. Signature came out with these pretty incredible titanium matching front and rear lug nuts. Now, here is the front lug nut. You can see how long they are. And then here is one of the rears. Now you see the difference? Now if you guys follow my channel, this is very common on the GT350 and S550 Mustang. Due to the brake overhang and wheel offsets, you're going to get a much deeper pocket on the front wheels than you are on the rear wheels. So when you buy a lug set, they're going to give you all the lug nuts are all going to be the same size, and it's going to look kind of sunken in the front, and it's going to look good in the rear. Now if you try to find lugs that match the front and rear as far as the thread pitch and the pattern, you're going to run into a couple of issues. If you want the lug nuts to be long enough to stick out, you're going to end up finding the ones for the front are going to require like a 7/8 wrench, and the ones for the rear are going to require a 3/4 of an inch wrench. That's the problem with stuff like this, is you're going to go crazy when you start to work in your car and start servicing it. You're going to need 2 different wrenches to get the front and the rear off, and it just becomes a hassle. So I went through a lot of trouble with a lot of the wheels that I had last year and the year before, that I was able to source front and rear from different vendors with the same style to get the matching hex tool to get the front and the rears off in one shot. And it's not easy to find those. They're very, very hard to find online. You got to do a lot of measuring with a caliper. Signature came out with their own, and these are an open-end design, super lightweight, extremely high quality, roll threads, and this solves that problem. And also with the open-end design for the 350R owners and anybody that's doing any kind of real track stuff with extended studs, that solves the problem of not having the right length for the race wheels. So I'll just show you guys here. We're just going to stick one in, and you can see that there, how that sits in there perfectly flush because they're the right size. And like I was explaining to you in the video earlier, this is why I wanted the stainless hardware, because the titanium finish very similarly matches the finish of the stainless steel hardware. And I think it's going to give it a nice contrast. You guys can see that there. And we go over to the rear wheel, and you can see that there. So that's pretty much what you want, and this is really cool that they went through the legwork and they came out with these, and they engineered these with a couple of other supporting vendors. And these things are freaking awesome. So I'm not sure if they still make these, but you may want to contact Signature Wheels to see if you could get a set, because these things are freaking awesome. So I cannot wait to get these things on as well. Now another thing too, if you guys don't know, or you guys don't follow social media, is as far as every forged wheel manufacturer that I've seen, Signature has to be the only one that's making the absolute most volume and has the most customers of GT350 customers around the world. These guys are killing it. Go on their social media. I'll link it in the description of this video. Check out a lot of what they're doing. A lot of customers are tracking them, autocrossing them, showing them. But whatever they're doing, they have a huge following of Shelby GT350 owners. And that just makes a lot of sense as far as choosing a vendor of who you're going to go with when you're spending you know, $6,000 on a set of wheels and you know, another $1,500 on tires. It's an expensive investment. These guys got the offsets down. The quality control is superb. Fit and finish is superb. Communication is great. And of course, they got pretty much one of the quickest turnaround times as far as getting a custom forged wheel made and shipped to your door anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the world, you know, in well under 6 weeks. So you guys are gonna have to stay tuned. We're gonna get these things put on the car in a couple of days. I just want to give you guys a quick little glimpse of the new wheels and show you guys a couple of little details, but these things are gonna look really awesome. I'm also gonna be doing a different wheel coating on these, so I'm gonna do a separate video on that because these have a little bit more detail with the spokes and all that, and I'm just gonna try something a little new, and hopefully that'll work out as far as keeping these things clean. But overall, pull them back, I mean, these are the SV701s. That's still an awesome wheel. I really like this wheel a lot. But they're going to go to a new home down in Texas. Good customers getting those. But, you know, ideally, I truly wanted a multi-piece. I wanted a step polished aluminum outer lip. I wanted exposed hardware. That's just what I wanted ever since I took delivery of this car. And a lot of manufacturers really don't offer, you know, that concave. They don't offer that deep staggered step lip on this application because of their forgings and what they do in their factories. They just don't match the aesthetic that I was going for. But this is exactly what I was going for. You guys can see that there. So stay tuned to the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Set your notifications to get the bell notification when I post a new video, because YouTube will deselect your notifications and you guys won't know when I post a new video. So stay tuned to the channel. The video of these wheels being coated and on the car. We're going to do some moving shots, some drone shots, and some cool stuff with these things on the car for some visual, and I look forward to doing that video soon. Stay tuned to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.